Hey Virgos, and welcome back. I know it's been a while. I know we didn't get one in November. I'm really sorry. But here we are at the end of 2021. So, how have you been? Where are we at? There's a lot of really intense energy for you guys this month, I'm not gonna lie. Oh. Yep, well, that was not a joke. Because a bunch of cards came out and only one came out upright. We'll talk about that one in a minute. But, yeah, it's been a time, right? How do you begin this? Because your energy is really, right now, stepping into your energy was a lot. So I gotta say, as a Virgo moon, I felt this reading coming. I wanted to do it over the weekend. I got too busy with work, had no time, and I felt bad putting this off. But maybe we needed to step into this energy today. Oh my God. You guys. All right, I'm just gonna let this energy sit for a second and pull a way to begin this because, yeah. Let's talk about the astrology a little bit and then we're gonna get into some of these cards because they're very strong. I'm gonna say this, you have all major arcanas out and then one minor arcana, and even that one is a pretty big card for me. So I think it's just a very important place to be. So we just went through that solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and it was right on the south node in Sagittarius, and the nodes are about to change. So we went through that last eclipse, and that was pretty big for you guys, I think, in terms of career, because that's really, especially for Virgo risings, that's happening in your 10th house of career right there. And that's just, you know, we got all this really, really big energy going on with, I'm sorry, I said that wrong, but the North Node in Gemini is in your 10th house. With the South Node in Sagittarius, there's been this really interesting thing at play over since probably, I think it was at the beginning of 2020 when the nodes changed. Oh my God. Mercury hasn't even gone retrograde yet, but I feel like Mercury in Sagittarius is, because it's in detriment in Sag, it's just been a very difficult for me to English. So bear with me while I try to find the right words for your reading, because I feel like that's really important for this reading, is that I say it with the right words instead of just like doodling myself through it, because like you can with Pisces, we can go off with feelings, we can chat. It's very chattery, like kind of sign, not song. See, I can't even speak now. And maybe a lot of you guys are having a hard time finding the right words this month. And I will say, in terms of the energy, and as I'm reading this on the 6th and tomorrow is the 7th, when we have this Mercury squaring Neptune and this Mars squaring Jupiter, which is a really messy day for you guys. It's a messy day for everybody because things aren't, like, we're going to be in this place of distorted clarity, especially in terms of relationships, because we have Neptune and Pisces in your 7th house of relationships squaring Mars and Scorpio, and that is a really intense, weird thing of getting very stuck on very distorted, unreal things that we're telling ourselves. So I will say there's just like this really interesting, I'm saying interesting because I want to be nice, but it's this really, see my not gonna itchy nose whenever that happens in a reading. I know it's kind of important. It's there's your advice card. But it's very messy. You're feeling messy. We'll just say that. Like, let's just try to boil this down into terms we can understand. You're feeling really messy right now. And it's no surprise. We've had a lot of really messy, intense, like, transits right at the beginning of December here, where, you know, again, that going back to that eclipse, we had so much clearing out in terms of your family, your living situations, because we have that South Node in your 4th house there. And we have, you know, again, that Gemini, the North Node in your 10th house, and it's like, how do I feel about where I'm at? How do I feel about the people that I'm surrounding myself with, my home? Trying to figure out, you know, also it's like, It's very much like trying to figure out, like not, I don't want to say just like where you're living home, but like your home base, your people, your found family, your actual family. It's like how have you grown? Like there's been this hunger for growth in these areas of wanting to escape past patterns and negative relationships, toxic friendships. There's a need. I don't want to say like in the wrong way, but it's like a need to mature, and it's been really pressing at the back of you. And I just want to say, okay, now we're gonna get into some of these cards here. Don't get into this place where it's like I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to find the right decision, trying to find the right words here, but it's like this is like, I don't know, I just did the sad reading and that was another tough one. I feel like the energy this month in general has just been like, I'm trying to dress it up, but like you can't really dress up a pig to get it to the Oscars, you know. I don't even know what kind of statement that is, but that's all I can say is like you can't you can put a dress on a pig, but can you take it to the Oscars? I don't think so. This is your energy this month. All right, so we're just gonna do it. We're gonna show the cards. We're gonna show the first 4 out. You guys aren't gonna be happy, but you know, we're gonna do it. We got the Tower. It's your first card out. And we got the Hermit, which is you. And then we got the Death card and the Devil. So, there's some big energies. What can I say? This is a really big time for you to change things. You're going to have a lot of Tower moments this month. You're going to have a lot of moments where your own negative tendencies are going to get thrown in your face in a way that you can either ignore your intuition, ignore everything that's being thrown in your face, and act like it has nothing to do with you, act like it's just like, it's how you perceive. It's all about your perception this month. About, yes, we have some difficult energy here. We have very difficult energy. You've got difficult transits going on. Let's just be real, okay? I'm going to stop buttering this up. I'm going to stop being nice. I'm sorry. I feel like that's what we need to hear. We need to hear the truth. So let's go. That's who I am as a reader anyways. Like, I'm going to stop being nice now. You have negative tendencies. You have these negative cycles. And that's really, that's the main thing I thought about there when we got to that card. And we got to end them. You're going to be thrown, these things are going to be thrown in your face in such a way this month. And here I am picking up all the cards after I said I wasn't going to. But here we are again. And I don't know if it's we were going through these really intense moments in terms of astrology. Like, again, the end of these nodes, like that was the last eclipse. Look back at the beginning of 2020. I think it was like April, May 2020 when they moved in there and like the eclipses started in Sag and Gemini. How have you changed since then? Where have you grown? Where has your desire for growth and maturing happened, and where has it not happened? Because now it's like, let's wrap this up. It's going to throw these things that you need, like in terms of all the ways that you need to grow and all the ways that you need to mature and all the ways that you need to be better. And especially better in terms of yourself, better in terms of how, I don't mean just like you're a bad person, like change, like you're being toxic, change. No, I mean like you want to be at a better level of living. You want to have the money, you want to have the house, you want to have the love, you want to have these things, you want to have the community, especially. Again, that's a really big focus for you guys, is 10th house and 4th house stuff. It's been a really big focus of who do I want to be career-wise? How do I want to show up to the world? How do I want people to see me? What is my image? Who am I? And who am I surrounding myself with? Like, who are the people that I'm considering family? Do they fit me anymore? Have I outgrown them? Is it time for me to also grow? Am I mirroring actions or behaviors of them? Are they mirroring, actions of a past me that I no longer resonate with and I no longer want to be? There's all of this being thrown in your face. And I think for a lot of you, if I'm being honest, it's like a very big push. So let's look at, actually, before we even talk about that any further, let's look a little bit more into where this cycling and these tower moments kind of come up and how these other cards down here have to play, because I feel like we have some out here, but I want to talk about them first. I feel like these have to do with this. Okay, sorry, I'm like half talking to myself here, but you guys know how I'll get the overhead camera again soon, don't worry. I just don't have it here in this new spot. We will be getting it soon, don't worry. Oh my gosh. These cards don't want to stay. They're just jumping right out in all directions. What's this about? One at a time. One at a time. Actually, this one is so jumpy. I'm gonna pull one more from this, but I think we're gonna get some clarifiers with another deck actually. Excuse me. Go for this one now. There are some situations in terms of love. Okay, let's talk about the love thing, because that's like right. There's a really big distracting. I'm like, I don't know how to make this. I don't know how to say this to you guys. The Venus retrograde is going to be tough for you guys. The thing is, Venus rules your money and your 9th house of beliefs. Religious, you know, like all this kind of like interesting, like more growth oriented, spiritual stuff here. And I think that you're going to get a little bit wonky in terms of how you view people, how you view relationships, I just don't want you to get into like this obsessive place, because I don't know, when I get to this card, I often think of, especially with some of these other cards here, it's like a very obsessive kind of energy. I'm getting stuck in this cycle and I'm going to obsess about that instead of dealing with these other things. And really that's what I get here is like you might, especially when we get to that Venus retrograde, which is going to be starting, I think it's the 19th. Yeah, the 19th is when Venus goes into retrograde. And like I was saying, think back to 2014. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, if it was the last reading, but think back to 2014, December of like 2013 to like March of 2014. Think back to then. What was going on then? How are you viewing relationships? If you can remember, where was your life at? Because, I'm holding these backwards, but I think for a lot of you, it's going to come up in this illusory, non-realistic visage that you will have, or this, it's like really like you're putting on this very unrealistic lens on a person and on a relationship. And you could find yourself in a very, I'm obsessing over this person, I'm obsessing over this relationship, I'm falling in love, I'm going through this, like very focused on these very toxic relationship or romantic cycles, where we are needing to change. And it's like, this is coming up because you need to change it, but you might, instead of changing all the other things and that, you might just be distracting yourself in this, focusing so much on, oh, but it could be, oh, it should be. Because when you get the star reversed, I always feel that is a place of, for sometimes I see it as hopelessness, but sometimes I see it as a very jaded hope. One that is just very unreal. Somebody that does not know what's really going on here, is not seeing the real picture. It's getting, again, very lost in the sauce of things. So there's an intense tendency to get very self-destructive this month and to not face realities. And I would say just try really hard to not be that way. Don't get yourself into a self-destructive cycle that you've been in before. I feel like you can catch yourself. You can catch yourself getting into the same old, because it's definitely here, and it's here to be dealt with. And with the Death card next to it, it could have started in Scorpio season. This might have to do with Scorpio. I don't like to get too stuck on the signs there. It might just have a lot to do, again, with these signs and these seasons, Capricorn as well. But I definitely feel, when I get all these major energies showing up right away, I don't want to just attach a sign to it. But with that Devil and that Death card, I just feel like You gotta change. It's like, like you've got to end this cycling thing that you do, where you get yourself in this lamenting place, or I can't change this, and this is who I am, and this is my story. This is my story. This is, it's like you have this tale, like an old sailor song. You're like so ready to sing it whenever like you sense that something is going wrong in a way that you can somehow tie back to a past situation going maybe a similar way, or not even a similar way, but just like the ending outcome is the same. Oh, I'm hurt again, or oh, I lost this job again. Oh, my heart got broken again. It's all the same. It always happens. It's always me. Are you really gonna do that? Because that is so silly and so dumb. I don't want to say that because I know I'm going to get some of you guys in the comments like yelling at me about it, but like, come on, Virgos. I'm a Virgo moon. Believe me, I can catch myself in negative headspaces like that, but then I'm like, that's insane. What am I saying? Like, that's insane. No. Because I'll recognize the cycle and I'll change it. It's like, if you see that this is something that changes, look at what puts you in that position in the first place. You put yourself in that position. And I don't want to say like, this is just as much fault as it is the other person, whatever the situation is here this month, and whatever this weird connection is. We'll look at that in a second a little more. But it's like you build something up to be more than it is, and you're unwilling to, it's like, I don't know, instead of doing what you have to do, instead of making the decision, it's like it's right there in your face. I mean, the Tower will show up again and again until you make the decision. First card out. It's the major energy of this month. It's like, what is not stable will not stand, and no matter how many times you're going to try to put that back up and try to put it back together and make it right by getting yourself back into these cycles that make you feel comfortable, you know, oh, I know myself when I'm like this, oh, I know, you know, I'm going to go through this again, I'm going to do that. No, just change. Like, it's time to change. It's like the universe is literally saying it's time to change. Why, when, you know, we have all these karmic cycles, all this intense stuff being thrown in your face, are we going to act like there's nothing about us that needs to change, mature, or be faced in a very real, possibly very painful way? Our behaviors and who we are and what we believe about ourselves and what we believe about love are up for changing this month, and you have to allow them to change. You can't be stubborn about this, okay? Because I see you guys in this really, it's like really annoying because like I think for some of you, like, you have like real love that really wants to come in, and you're so stuck on the one thing that doesn't want you, or the one thing that isn't working out. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, you're over here at this beautiful place of, I mean, actually, you know what? Let's just look at this in a different way here. This is where, yeah, like I was saying, this is what could come in. This is where you could be if you stop allowing the cycle to perpetuate again and again. If you can change, if you can see that you're about to go down this road again, if you can feel, I mean, like, it's like intuition, everything is here for you this month, especially with all these major arcanas. It's like, if you sit still, the intuition is there. It was always there. So listen to it so you don't have to be through these tower moments in such a big way. They're not going to be negative changes. They'll be positive changes instead. These tower moments will come, and it'll be like, that's okay. I can keep going. I'm going to move on. It's whatever. That's life. I'm not going to let it affect me in a negative way. I'm going to allow it to propel me to change and be better. And I know that's a hard way to look at this, and you really want to dip into that woe is me place and comforting yourself in the ways that you used to, in the ways that you know, and ways that make you feel comfortable. I'm going to go obsess about this there. I'm going to go obsess about this other person. I'm going to throw myself into all these things. And I think that's a lot to do, again, with that retrograde that we got going on in Venus there. Because there's a lot about what do you believe about love, and what is your identity attached to all of that, and, you know, what are your beliefs around pleasure? What are your fears around that? You know, what are you going to do? The game is changing. How are you going to change? Are you going to change how you play it? Are you going to change the people that you go for? Or when it's almost like you see all the things, like if you had paid attention to the intuition, if you had paid attention to the directions on the way there, then we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. And I think we don't want to self-sabotage again. It's like once you've realized that you've gone through that again, it's like, oh shit, I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to do it again. This is like my story, and this is my life, and it's my fate. Don't get into this headspace of this is my fate, this is who I have to be. It's just like there's a lot of energy, especially with Saturn in your 6th house, and like going, like just kind of like forcing you to really look at your responsibility day to day and own up to it and step up. Are you going to step up in all the ways, or are you just going to step up like that? It's like the rules are changing. It's asking you to be more responsible. It's asking you to step up. It's asking you to grow. And especially, like, I mean, let's just talk about this right here. Like, why are you looking at this when you have divine masculine and feminine and a new beginning of love right here? Why are you so focused on all the wrong things? Because it's not coming in the way you want it to. It's not the person that you want it to be. It's not right for some reason. So I'm going to flip out. And it's like, you've been tested. That's very clear. You've been very tested. And I said I was going to take out that other deck, and then I didn't take out that other deck, did I? So let's look at that other deck, right? Let's get some clarifiers there. Because there's this very tense energy, again, where it's like, in the face of dealing with things, it's just like, no, I don't want to. Or if I'm going to, it's going to be chaotic, and it's not going to be on your terms when you ask me to. So let's look at relationships a little bit more, because I feel like that's where you guys are going to be focused. The Tower is there too, and just know that there's a lot of change about career and about how you see yourself and about leveling up. And how do you believe do you believe you can level up? Do you believe that you can have the things that you say that you want and say that you want to be? Or do you want to keep picking away at the edges? It's like, it's time to level up, Virgo. And if you're like not ready to take responsibility, if you're not ready to do these things, you're gonna get stuck in these cycles again. And I don't want to sound like that, but like, these are very, you have beautiful cards here and you have very intense cards. And it's like, things that want to come in are there if you would allow them to. Are there if you would stop obsessing and getting yourself into the wrong headspace over the wrong people and the wrong situations. Also, money is really what you need to be focusing on right now. Your own stability, your own security is really where you need to be. Okay. Yep, there it is. I found it. It's gonna be I don't even know. It's like it's like you're trying to get yourself involved in a third party situation for some of you. And I just want to say, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's like, you gotta let's get pulling advice card. That's what we need. Now I see the mess. I mean, it's messy. It's very messy, guys. It's a really messy month. Your fears are real and alive. They're alive. They're like talking shadows right now. Like, you're all over the place. But like, what you gotta know is that things will settle down. It will get better. When Jupiter gets into Pisces again, like I said, you're gonna get to a better place. Things are at least gonna feel better. There's gonna be a lovelier energy, but there's very much like this energy to you where you are not coming across the way that you might think that you are. You're not understanding things the way that you think that you are. There's not a clear picture this month, especially in terms of relationship and in terms of the other person. So I think it's like the way that you are coming across them is coming across wrong. The way that you're taking what they're saying is coming across wrong. Communication is just like really not doing a good thing for you this month. Page of Wands, Five of Wands reverse. This is the Micah Ulrich deck, the Flux Arcana. It's really beautiful. But you've got to remove yourself from that fighting energy. When I get the Five of Wands reverse, it's like, you've got to find peace. You got to find quiet. It's like, what? You've got to find a way to cut through the bullshit and cut through the noise. And find, like, find a way to hone in on what you're trying to communicate and say that. Think before you speak. Write it out if you have to. But communicating is going to be a really thing for you this month, especially when it comes to these love relationships. Ace of Pentacles on the Moon, though. And like I said, we're looking for stability, but it's like we have this fear surrounding it. There's like this deep, deep fear surrounding stability and security. It's never going to happen. I want to offer this to somebody. I want to be the everything. I want to offer the ring. I want to offer the stability. And it's like, you have this fear, like, if it's not going to happen now, and if it's not with this person, it's never, oh my gosh, I almost knocked it over. It's never going to happen. And you have to let that go. Because stability is coming in. but you have to reconcile how your fears stop your stability from coming in, and how you might be self-sabotaging by ignoring what you should be paying attention to and listening to what is being communicated to you and understanding it. But it's like you're not understanding right now. Your things are not clear. You're not taking in what is being told to you in a very clear way. And like I said, this feels very much like a love triangle type situation, or a choice here that either you're making. Again, for some of you, it's like, if you're not interested in somebody this month, like, I just feel like you're going to be very apparent about that. It's going to be very in your face, like in their face. Like it's just like that. You're not about it. And it could be that you're interested in somebody else, and that's great. But I also feel, again, like there's like a possibility for third party stuff, or like you could be disappointing somebody else and going for somebody else there, because you do have that King of Pentacles, and then we get that Three of Swords. And it's like, if you want to, I don't know, it's tough. So let's look at that a little bit, actually. Let's check the time. I'll pull a couple on that. Could be also that somebody that, again, because you have this yearning for stability and security within love this month. And I think it's going to get really, I don't want to say desperate, but it's going to make you feel a little like crazy if you're not in a relationship, or even if you are, you're going to be feeling really like, ooh, like super intense, super like, again, wild and out about it, like needing to say this, needing to do that, acting in a crazy way, getting obsessed on certain things, or if you're single, getting obsessed with people that are not good for you, getting into these cycles where you want to like focus really intensely on somebody, you want to just date someone and be like, oh my God, I'm in love, and then by the end of it, it's going to be all different. You're going to get back to where you're at by the beginning. Whatever you're focusing at, like, as we enter this retrograde, we're coming back to this stuff. So it's not going anywhere. Yeah, we're looking for the real deal, the meat and the potatoes. And I feel like for some of you, it is there. It's all about how you don't again, for those of you who are in long-term relationships, don't self-sabotage this month. You know what cycles you get into. You know where your head is at this month. You know that instead of that, you really don't want to deal with some things. You really don't want to change some things. Your fears about them are so intense, and your beliefs about them are like, you don't want to change your beliefs this month, but guess what? You got to. Okay? You got to do it, because, oh my God, there it is. I was waiting for her to come out. I kept seeing her in my mind's eye, and I was like, where's the High Priestess? I know she's here. I know she's coming up, but there she is. You're ignoring it. You're ignoring it. Stop ignoring her. I don't want to say, stop it. Stop ignoring your High Priestess, though. Like, you've got to stop ignoring her. I'm going to turn her upright so you guys can look at this better. But you get the Two of Pentacles reverse and the High Priestess reverse. It's like you're throwing it out. It's like, okay, the High Priestess is that your intuition is there to help you change things. And you're like, no. I'm going to throw it out for this instead. And it's like, you didn't even listen. You have to allow the change to come in. It's like you're literally just like, no. No, I don't read that language, actually. I don't understand that. I'm not going to do that right now. But please do. Your intuition is so strong, and it is so there right now. Listen to it. And don't distract yourself with all the things that you like to do to distract yourself when you're down, and all the things you like to tell yourself. Write those things down and change them, okay? I really need you to do that this month. I need you to take better care of yourself and to not cycle into a place of self-sabotage, because you have a lot of transforming to do. And it's really all about how you deal and what you do with this energy. Because you can do a lot. You can get a lot done if you're willing to make the changes. And if you're willing to really look at all these major arcana that are sitting on the table in your favor. Don't look the other way. Pay attention to that intuition. Pay attention to how you feel about things. Pay attention to that part of you that's trying to warn you when you know you're going to do something that you will regret in the long term. Be careful who you sleep with this month. Okay? Just be careful of all these things. All right? I love you guys so much. I hope this wasn't like a super harsh reading, because you have beautiful things that want to come in, and you're seeking that really long-term, lovely energy, but you can't get stuck on the it's not here right now, and it's not this person, and I'm going to go balls to the wall about it, and I'm going to do this about it, and I'm going to feel this way about it, and I'm going to tell them about it. And it's like, don't. Don't, okay? I love you guys so much. Things are going to be okay. Just take control. It's a lot to do. I know it's a lot to ask, but just do it, okay? You got this. All right, Virgos, I love you so, so much. Have a wonderful December. I will see you next month. Please remember to subscribe, guys, to give it a like if you enjoyed it. And if you want to get a private reading, please email me. The information is below. Have a wonderful December, guys, and Happy New Year.